You've been taught to shrink, praised for playing safe, conditioned to whisper your potential away. This book is the match that burns that programming down. If you're not ready to lose the excuses, close this now. But if you want the raw, unavoidable truth that will make people obey your presence, listen. What you'll hear next will change how you move through every room, every deal, every relationship, forever.
Introduction: The Hidden Edge Inside You. Deep within your spirit lies a diamond-bright potential, dulled only by layers of fear, hesitation, and disbelief. Like a raw gem buried in rough earth, your innate sharpness waits to be excavated and polished. This book is your ignition spark, the unfiltered blueprint that exposes and amplifies the magnetic voltage of power inside you right now. You're not learning something new. You're remembering who you were before the world taught you to doubt it. Chapter 1. You were never average. You just forgot who you are.
Shatter the myth. Why ordinary is a cage you must break. Ordinary is not truth, it's programming. It's a label the world placed on your soul before you even had a chance to speak. You were told to be realistic, to stay humble, to settle. But humility doesn't mean hiding your brilliance. You weren't born to blend in, you were born to bend reality. The idea of being average is the biggest illusion humanity ever bought into. A story repeated so many times that it became believable. But belief doesn't make it true. Every human carries a spark, a design so unique that it can't be replicated. You are that design. You are that anomaly. Your existence is proof that the universe doesn't make copies. It crafts originals. To call yourself ordinary is to insult the cosmic odds that created you.
The moment you stop comparing, your power begins to return home. Confront the truth. You've always had more than you acknowledge. You think you're missing something. More time, more resources, more luck, more validation. But you've already walked through storms that others would never survive. You've already built resilience, courage, and clarity. You just stopped counting it. Every scar is data. Every failure is instruction. Every sleepless night that you endured, every time you rose again, that's proof of power, not weakness. You don't need to become more. You need to remember more. You've been gathering strength all along. Your power isn't somewhere out there. It's right here, under the dust of your own doubt, waiting for you to pick it back up. 10 key lessons to engrave in your mind. You are not what happened to you. You are what you decide next. The ordinary label is a cage. Burn it and walk out free. Comparison kills more dreams than failure ever will. Your only competition is the person in the mirror. Power grows in silence. Stop over-explaining yourself. The world's approval isn't currency. Your self-belief is. Every scar you carry is a signature of survival. Belief isn't a feeling. It's a daily decision. Nobody can define your worth unless you hand them the pen. Remember, you were never average. You simply forgot who you are. Chapter 2. Unpolished, not broken. There's nothing wrong with you.
The truth about feeling stuck. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're feeling. It means your soul is preparing for an upgrade. When the caterpillar feels trapped inside its cocoon, it doesn't realize it's becoming a butterfly. That tension, that confusion, that pause you're in, it's not punishment. It's transition.
You are not behind. You are in process. Growth never announces itself politely. It arrives disguised as discomfort. If everything around you feels uncertain, congratulations. You're right where change begins. The universe slows you down not to punish you, but to realign you. Sometimes the silence isn't emptiness, it's incubation. Recognizing the potential hidden in your resistance. Resistance is not your enemy, it's your unexpressed potential trying to break through. The heavier the pushback, the closer you are to something powerful. Think of resistance like the weight you lift at the gym. Without it, no muscle ever forms. When you feel the drag, the doubt, the exhaustion, stop running from it. Study it. Listen to it. It's showing you exactly where your next strength is waiting. Your resistance reveals your direction. The place that scares you most is usually where your growth is hiding. The myth of brokenness. You are not broken. You are becoming. You've been conditioned to see your cracks as flaws, but they are just entry points for light. Perfection isn't your goal. Expression is. Every scar, every insecurity, every time you felt invisible, that's your material. Those are the fragments you'll sculpt greatness from. You don't need fixing, you need unfolding. Stop asking, what's wrong with me? Start asking, what's waiting to emerge from me? How a flicker of self-belief ignites everything. Belief doesn't start as thunder, it begins as a whisper. Just one small spark. Maybe I can. And that one thought repeated enough becomes a flame that can melt any limitation. You don't need confidence first. You need motion. Action builds evidence, and evidence builds confidence. Each time you choose courage over comfort, your inner power strengthens. Your belief system is not written in stone. It's rewritten every time you act despite fear. 10 lessons from the furnace of becoming. Stuck is a signal, not a sentence. Resistance equals your potential disguised as a challenge. Growth always comes wrapped in discomfort. Confusion is the birthplace of clarity. The mind screams loudest right before transformation. Kindness toward yourself accelerates healing. Progress compounds quietly, not dramatically. Today's weakness becomes tomorrow's wisdom. You are unfolding, not malfunctioning. Belief is the spark that turns survival into expansion.
Chapter 3. The Power of Small Wins. How Tiny Steps Sharpen You. The Myth of Big Leaps. Everyone glorifies the breakthrough, the overnight success, the dramatic transformation. But the truth is, no one leaps to greatness. They walk there, one small, consistent step at a time. Big leaps look impressive, but they are built on invisible inches. Every tiny decision, waking up 5 minutes earlier, reading one page, resisting one distraction, becomes a silent vote for the future version of you. You don't need to do everything. You only need to start with something. Tiny wins build unshakable momentum. Momentum doesn't come from motivation. It comes from movement. Once you take the smallest possible action, energy follows. Your brain begins to associate motion with progress, and suddenly the impossible starts to shrink. It's like pushing a heavy rock. At first, every inch feels impossible, but once it starts rolling, even a light touch keeps it going. So celebrate the inch. Celebrate the one extra rep, the one extra line written, the one more day you didn't give up. Consistency over intensity. Intensity burns fast. Consistency builds forever. You don't need perfect days. You need repeated effort. Even a weak attempt done daily beats a perfect plan done occasionally. It's okay to move slowly, because when you stay consistent, the direction matters more than the distance. Small daily improvements compound, silently, steadily, irreversibly. And one morning, without realizing it, you'll wake up stronger than you ever imagined. Turning effort into identity. When you keep showing up, even when no one's watching, you stop chasing motivation and start becoming discipline. Each small win whispers, I am the kind of person who doesn't quit. That identity, not the outcome, changes everything.
because habits don't just shape your routine, they shape your self-respect. The compound effect of progress. Progress compounds quietly, like interest on effort. You may not notice it for days or weeks, but eventually the curve bends upward. One page becomes a chapter. One chapter becomes a book. One act of courage becomes a new life. Growth is not a moment, it's a collection of moments, each one small enough to ignore, but powerful enough to transform you. 10 lessons to remember about small wins. The smallest step in the right direction still counts. Progress doesn't need applause, it needs persistence. You don't need more motivation, you need more movement. A 1% effort repeated daily becomes unstoppable. Tiny wins rewrite your identity silently. Consistency is louder than confidence. Even slow growth is still growth. Every repetition strengthens belief. Greatness hides in ordinary routines. Don't chase speed, chase steadiness.
Chapter 4. Silence is not empty. It's where power regrows. The fear of silence. Most people fear silence. They fear being alone with their thoughts because silence reveals what distraction hides. When the noise stops, your inner voice gets louder, and that voice doesn't lie. But silence is not your enemy, it's your mirror. It reflects who you are when no one is watching, what you truly think, and what you truly want. The world keeps you busy so you forget yourself. Silence helps you remember. The noise that dulls the mind. Every scroll, every notification, every opinion, it's noise disguised as importance. The world teaches you to react, not reflect. But wisdom grows in reflection, not reaction. When you stop feeding on constant input, your brain finally exhales. It starts repairing itself, regaining focus, clarity, and control. Noise weakens attention. Silence sharpens it. You'll realize how much energy you wasted chasing validation and how peaceful it feels to just be. Silence as strength. Silence is not weakness, it's self-control in its highest form. It's saying, I choose my response. Strong people don't need to prove their point every time. They let actions echo louder than words. They understand that silence speaks in frequencies that shouting never can. When you learn to be comfortable with silence, you become dangerous, because you no longer need the world's noise to validate your worth. Listening to the inner voice, inside silence, something magical happens. The voice of intuition becomes clear. It's not loud. It's a whisper that guides you toward truth, clarity, and balance. You begin to understand what you truly want, not what society programmed you to chase. That inner whisper has been speaking your entire life. You just couldn't hear it over the volume of the world. Regrowth in stillness. When everything feels heavy, don't rush to fix it. Withdraw, breathe, be still. Like a forest after fire, your mind needs silence to regrow. Healing is not loud. It's quiet, private, and invisible. The strongest version of you is rebuilt in the silence where no one applauds. When you stop running, your energy stops leaking, and that's when your power starts returning, quietly, fully, fearlessly. 10 lessons to remember about silence. Silence is not emptiness, it's energy in recovery. When you stop speaking, your soul starts teaching. Stillness is not a pause, it's preparation. The loudest people are often the most lost. Power grows in peace, not in chaos. Your focus heals in silence. Learn to rest, not to escape. The answers you seek
don't come from noise, they come from stillness. Those who master silence master themselves. When you return from silence, you return stronger.
Chapter 5. The Battle Within. Fighting the Mind Before the World. The Invisible Enemy. Every person carries a war inside, unseen, unheard, and often unnamed. It's the battle between who you are and who you want to be, between your potential and your past, between your truth and your fears. People think their biggest enemy is outside, society, failure, rejection. But the truth is darker. Your greatest fight is not with the world, it's with your own mind. Your thoughts can either build you or destroy you, and most of the time they're doing both at once. The voice that lies. The mind has two voices, one that guides and one that deceives. The deceptive one sounds like logic, but is actually fear in disguise. It says, "You're not ready." It says, "You'll fail again." It says, "You're not enough." And every time you believe it, you lose a piece of your power. That voice grows stronger when you avoid challenges and weaker when you face them. You don't silence it by ignoring it. You silence it by proving it wrong. The weight of doubt. Doubt is the weapon your mind uses to slow your growth. It paralyzes action, kills creativity, and builds invisible walls. You don't break those walls by thinking. You break them by moving. Action is the antidote to overthinking. You'll never feel ready. The courage to begin will always feel heavier than fear. But the moment you take that step, fear breaks. Remember, growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you walk through discomfort and still keep moving. Turning pain into power. Pain is not punishment, it's a message. It teaches you where to grow, what to release, and what to become. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure, they weren't there to destroy you. They were there to introduce you to your strength. Pain burns away illusions and leaves only truth. And the truth is, you were built for this. The mind bends before it breaks, and every time it bends, it gets stronger. Winning the inner war. Winning the battle within doesn't mean silencing fear. It means mastering it. Control is not about never feeling weak. It's about never letting weakness control you. You win when you learn to talk back to your fears. You win when you choose discipline over doubt. You win when you turn chaos into clarity. And one day you'll realize the same mind that once broke you has become the fortress that protects you. 10 lessons to remember from the inner battle. Your biggest war is fought in silence, inside your head. Every fear hides a version of you waiting to be free. Courage is not absence of fear, it's mastery of it. Your mind believes what you repeat. Choose your thoughts wisely. Action kills fear faster than motivation ever will. Doubt dies when you move forward anyway. You are not your pain. You are the power that rises after it. The enemy within becomes an ally once you understand it. Progress feels like chaos before it feels like peace. Once you conquer your mind, the world becomes easy.
Chapter 6. Energy Shifts. The Science of Vibes and Human Connection. The frequency of your mind. Everything in existence vibrates.
your thoughts, emotions, even your presence. What you think, you emit. What you emit, you attract. Your mind isn't just a storage of thoughts, it's a transmitter of energy. Every emotion you feel sends out a signal that either fuels your growth or feeds your chaos. When your frequency is low, filled with fear, jealousy, or doubt, you attract confusion and resistance. But when your frequency rises, powered by gratitude, clarity, and purpose, you attract alignment. You don't chase what's meant for you, you become what's meant for you. The law of inner energy. Your energy dictates your reality. If you walk into a room with insecurity, the world mirrors it back. If you walk in with calm confidence, the universe rearranges to match that tone. Energy doesn't lie. People may not read your thoughts, but they always feel your frequency. That's why silence can be louder than words, and stillness can have more power than shouting. Mastering your inner energy is the ultimate self-discipline. It's the ability to remain unshaken when everything else shakes. Protecting your energy field. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people drain you without touching you through their negativity, fear, or chaos. You must become selective about who you allow near your mental space. Your mind is sacred ground. Don't let everyone walk on it. Protect your energy by saying no without guilt, disconnecting from chaos without explanation, choosing silence over pointless debate, spending time in environments that refuel you, not drain you. Energy management is self-respect in action. Vibration and thought patterns. Your recurring thoughts create vibration loops. Think low, and your life echoes that low frequency. Think high, and life responds with clarity and opportunity. Each morning, your first thoughts tune your entire day. That's why gratitude, reflection, and breathwork aren't rituals, they're tools of frequency control. Every time you consciously shift your focus from fear to possibility, you change your vibration, and your vibration changes your reality. The power of emotional alchemy. You can transmute emotions like a scientist refining energy. Anger can become drive. Fear can become alertness. Pain can become wisdom. Your emotions are not enemies. They're raw power waiting to be redirected. Instead of suppressing them, learn to alchemize them, to use their charge to fuel creation instead of destruction. This is emotional mastery, turning internal storms into wind for your wings. The magnetic field of purpose. Purpose emits its own frequency. When you live aligned with your mission, people feel it before you speak. Opportunities, allies, even miracles appear not because of luck, but because you're radiating a signal that matches your destiny. This is not philosophy, it's physics of the soul. Energy attracts what mirrors it. Purpose gives your energy direction, like a laser instead of a flashlight. Discipline as energy control. Discipline isn't about routine, it's about energy flow. When you control your habits, you control where your power goes. Every distraction is an energy leak. Every focused act is an energy investment. Protect your time like sacred currency. Every moment spent with intention compounds your vibration and sharpens your focus. Rest and reset, the forgotten power. Rest isn't weakness, it's recalibration. When you rest consciously, your vibration resets, your emotions rebalance, and your creativity recharges. The strongest warriors are not those who never pause. They are the ones who rest deeply, rise sharply, and return stronger. Stillness is not the opposite of progress. It is the foundation that sustains it. 10 lessons to anchor this chapter. Your energy speaks before your words ever do. What you focus on expands. Energy follows attention. Protect your peace like you protect your goals. Energy vampires exist. Distance is your shield. Gratitude immediately raises your vibration.
You can transmute emotions, anger into action, fear into purpose. Resting consciously keeps your frequency high. The people around you either amplify or drain your energy. Your purpose is your internal frequency stabilizer. You don't chase alignment, you vibrate into it.
Chapter 7. Living Sharpened. Walking the world as your true self. The evolution has already happened. You've spent the entire book unlearning fear, sharpening discipline, and decoding your own energy. Now you stand where most people never reach, self-awareness fused with action. You are no longer chasing confidence, you are walking proof of it. Living sharpened doesn't mean you're flawless, it means you're authentically aligned. You know your strength, your silence, and your story. Every breath you take from here on carries intention. Every move you make broadcasts quiet certainty. This is not motivation anymore, this is identity. Confidence as silent power. True confidence doesn't shout, it hums. It's the calm tone of someone who doesn't need validation because they've met their own truth. Confidence built from discipline and alignment becomes magnetic. People can feel it before you speak a word. This confidence is not arrogance, it's clarity, the understanding that you no longer owe anyone proof. Your stillness becomes your message. Your consistency becomes your authority. Your peace becomes your loudest statement. Purpose as your compass. When your life aligns with purpose, chaos loses power. Purpose filters out noise, simplifies choices, and points all your energy in one direction. You no longer need to chase 100 paths. You walk one with conviction. Every decision now passes through the question, does this sharpen or dull me? Purpose doesn't make life easy, it makes it clear. And in clarity, there is unstoppable movement. Integrity is the hidden superpower. Integrity isn't about reputation, it's about inner alignment. It's keeping promises to yourself when no one is watching. It's saying no when it costs you comfort but protects your soul. The sharper you become, the more tempting shortcuts appear. But the truly powerful never trade integrity for speed. Integrity is the armor that keeps your sharpness untarnished. Without it, even brilliance corrodes. The calm authority of presence. Walk into a room and own it, not through noise, but through grounded presence. Your body language, your stillness, your controlled energy, they speak volumes. People remember how your presence made them feel more than what you said. That's because energy transfers before words ever do. To live sharpened is to become a walking vibration of peace and power. It's not domination, it's quiet command. The art of emotional balance. Even the sharpest blades need balance to stay useful. Emotional mastery doesn't mean never feeling, it means feeling deeply without drowning. You've learned to turn anger into focus, pain into purpose, and fear into fire. Now you learn to balance them, so that no emotion controls you. When you can observe your emotions without reacting, you reach the realm of unshakable control. You become the observer, not the storm. Leadership through alignment. True leaders don't demand attention, they magnetize it. They lead not by command, but by coherence. When your inner world is stable, your external influence multiplies. People naturally follow clarity, discipline, and authenticity. And leadership begins when you no longer seek followers, only impact. Living sharpened in a chaotic world. The world will still throw noise, distractions, and temptations. But now you know your code. You know your edge, your rhythm, your non-negotiables. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer prove, you express.
You walk like someone who remembers where they came from and where they're going. That's real power. Self-knowledge in motion. 10 core principles of the sharpened life. Confidence is quiet, not performative. Discipline is your invisible weapon.
Integrity protects what talent builds. Energy flows toward your dominant focus. Rest is sacred. It renews your edge. Clarity simplifies everything. Purpose eliminates confusion. Emotional control is your superpower. Presence is louder than words. Self-belief turns ordinary moments into miracles. Conclusion. You were never meant to fit in. You were designed to stand out. Not loudly, but luminously. Not by imitation, but by intention. Living sharpened means you finally understand. You are the weapon. You are the fire. You are the force that cuts through fog and limitation. So step forward, not searching, but knowing. Walk as the calm storm. Speak as the quiet thunder. Live as the sharpened you that was always waiting beneath the noise. 10 core learnings. You were not born average. You were trained to think small. Self-doubt is not truth, it's a virus. Confidence is a muscle, use it or lose it. Fear means you're standing at the border of growth. Progress starts with clarity, not perfection. Every setback holds a coded lesson. Energy flows where your attention goes. You are already enough, you just forgot. Belief isn't luxury, it's survival. Every decision either sharpens or dulls your edge. You've walked through every layer of your being. Fear, resistance, chaos, and clarity. And now, standing at the end, you realize something simple yet powerful. You were never dull. You were never broken. You were only buried. The edge was always there, hidden beneath hesitation, fear, and noise. What this journey did was strip away the dust so you could finally see your reflection clearly. The truth about your evolution. You didn't become strong, you remembered your strength. You didn't find confidence, you uncovered it beneath layers of doubt. You didn't learn worthiness, you realized it was never lost. The mind loves to complicate progress, but growth has always been about returning to self. Every discipline, every ritual, every courageous act, they weren't creating a new you. They were sharpening the real you that's been waiting in silence, ready to emerge. The world needs your edge. Look around. The world doesn't need more people pretending to fit in. It needs more humans who remember their fire, who lead with conviction, who live without apology. Your sharpness isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's not aggression, it's clarity. It's not about proving, it's about becoming. When you live sharpened, you give silent permission for others to do the same. You become a mirror that reflects possibility back to the people who've forgotten their own strength. The blade and the balance. A sharp blade without balance cuts everything, even itself. That's why your evolution also requires grace. Be sharp but compassionate. Be focused but patient. Be powerful but humble. Strength without softness turns cold. Softness without strength fades fast. You are both, steel and soul, fire and calm. That duality is your real magic. Keep sharpening. This isn't where the process ends. It's where maintenance begins. Every day, the world will test your edge. Every challenge will try to dull your focus. But now you know how to realign, refocus, and reforge. Keep your rituals sacred. Keep your purpose loud. Keep your distractions silent. You've already proven that you can rise. Now, sustain it. The final reflection. Look in the mirror, not to criticize, but to recognize. You are the same person who once doubted their strength. And yet you stand here sharper, wiser, calmer, and unstoppable. The difference? You now believe. You've turned doubt into direction, fear into focus, and pressure into power. The journey wasn't about changing who you are. It was about returning home to yourself. Final words. You are the edge, the fire, the force, the calm,
all in one. The world won't always understand your sharpness, but it will always feel it. Keep walking as your truest self, refined by struggle, defined by purpose, and unstoppable by design. Because in the end, you were always sharp.